Mark Twain, A Brief Biography. Early Childhood and Formative Years, 1835-1851. Samuel Langhorne Clemens, destined to become the iconic Mark Twain, entered the world on November 30th, 1835, in the tiny two-room cabin of Florida, Missouri, coinciding with the appearance of Halley's Comet. His family, seeking better prospects, relocated when he was 4 to Hannibal, a bustling port town on the Mississippi River. This move was pivotal. Hannibal wasn't just a place to live, it was a vibrant, chaotic microcosm of antebellum America. Its riverside landscapes, a constant flow of new faces, and a complex social fabric became the raw material that would profoundly shape the young Clemens's imagination and worldview. Hannibal was a town of constant motion, a crossroads of caravans, majestic steamboats, traders, and tragically, slavers. Young Clemens mingled with a wide variety of Americans and foreigners who inhabited this transitory river town, absorbing their dialects, stories, and mannerisms. The stark diversity of characters, the often brutal realities juxtaposed with the humor of frontier life, and the powerful rhythmic pulse of river commerce seeped into his consciousness. These experiences would later be immortalized, providing the authentic heart of masterpieces like The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Samuel's father, John Marshall Clemens, was a stern lawyer and a man of civic ambition, though his ventures often ended in failure. He expected that Samuel would follow a more stable path to public prominence. However, this dream dissolved when John died of pneumonia when Samuel was only 11. His father's sudden death plunged the family into severe financial uncertainty and shattered the innocence of childhood. This loss forced young Clemens into early responsibility, shaping a pragmatic outlook that would define his character. He left school at 12, his formal education ending abruptly. The world of the Mississippi became his new classroom, a formative experience that gave him a first-hand look at the river that would become a central, mythic symbol in his life and art. His mother, Jane Lambton Clemens, was a warm, witty woman known for her storytelling and compassion, a stark contrast to her husband's severity. She came from a more established family and was deeply religious and socially conscious, qualities that provided a moral compass for her children. Jane had a powerful influence on young Sam's informal education, nurturing his love for stories and encouraging his early efforts in reading, writing, and music. Her humor and humanity became a wellspring for his own. This mixture of his father's frontier pragmatism and his mother's more refined, literate ideals created a dynamic tension in Clemens' upbringing. This duality is perfectly reflected in his later work, a unique blend of irreverent backwoods humor and deeply serious social observation. His early writings, even as a youth, began to combine authentic local dialect, lively characters, and a biting satire that targeted the absurdities of human folly and the sting of injustice. During his teenage years, Clemens began his life with the written word, not as an author, but as a laborer. He apprenticed in a print shop, learning the meticulous craft of typesetting for his brother Orion's newspaper. This early immersion grounded his awareness of the power of the printed word. Handling the physical type, seeing stories take form, and contributing his own humorous sketches and articles taught him that storytelling was not just an art, but a trade, a powerful tool to shape public perception and ultimately to define a uniquely American voice. At 17, Samuel Clemens embarked on a demanding apprenticeship to become a steamboat pilot, a profession he considered more prestigious than being a king. It was a lucrative and respected career for a young man in 1850s America, promising both adventure and status. After 2 years of rigorous training, memorizing every bend, snag, and sandbar of the Mississippi, he earned his pilot's license in 1859. Piloting symbolized mastery over nature, demanding precision, bravery, and an intimate feel for the river's ever-changing moods. This experience would become a deep wellspring for his future writing. The river itself was a bustling artery of social and economic complexity, a melting pot of cultures, commerce, and migration that fed his imagination with countless stories and characters. But in 1861, the Civil War halted river traffic. Clemens headed to Nevada, trying his hand at mining before finding his true calling in journalism, where he honed the satirical, uniquely American voice that would define Mark Twain. In 1865, Samuel Clemens adopted the pen name Mark Twain, a riverboat term meaning 2 fathoms deep, which signaled safe water for passage. This name, rooted in his beloved Mississippi, would soon become synonymous with American literature itself. His first major literary success came that same year with The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County. This wildly popular, humorous short story was published in newspapers across the country, bringing him national attention and establishing his reputation as a uniquely gifted and hilarious storyteller. His subsequent years were marked by prolific literary output. Capitalizing on his newfound fame, he embarked on a journey through Europe and the Holy Land. The resulting travel book, The Innocents Abroad, 1869, was an immediate and massive bestseller. It masterfully satirized the pretensions of American tourists, and its irreverent humor resonated deeply with a public eager for a fresh, distinctly American voice. This success cemented his status as a leading literary figure. Mark Twain's literary style was distinctive, straightforward yet rich with irony, pungent social commentary, and a masterful command of regional dialect. His works often tackled challenging issues like race, class, and the complexities of American identity. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Twain brilliantly combined humor with an acute sense of injustice and moral urgency, making his critiques of society both palatable and powerful. He honed this voice not just in his writing, but also on the lecture circuit, where his charismatic performances further amplified his fame. His greatest novels, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, began to 1876, and its sequel, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, 1885, draw from his own boyhood memories to explore the complexities of freedom in antebellum America. While Tom Sawyer was a nostalgic celebration of youth, Huckleberry Finn was a much more profound and controversial work. It is often regarded as the great American novel for its innovative use of vernacular language and its daring, unflinching critique of entrenched racism. Through the eyes of a boy and a runaway slave adrift on the Mississippi, Twain navigated the tension between nostalgia for a disappearing rural America and a frank acknowledgement of its deepest flaws. In 1870, Twain married Olivia Langdon. Their marriage was both a source of stability and tension. Twain relied on Olivia's support and editorial guidance, but at times chafed at her conservative values. The couple had 4 children, but their family life was clouded by tragedy. 2 daughters died in infancy, and their surviving children faced health issues and personal difficulties. Financially, Twain's life was tumultuous. Speculative and failed investments, notably the Page typesetting machine, brought him to the brink of bankruptcy in the 1890s. Only through extensive lecture tours and writing did he manage to recover from financial ruin. Ernest Hemingway praised Twain as the great American humorist whose work influenced all modern American literature. Twain pioneered an American literary voice that combined realism, humor, and social critique. His works have been praised for their stylistic innovations, narrative, techniques, and exploration of difficult social themes like race and morality. Despite controversy, particularly around racial language in Huckleberry Finn, Twain's novels remain central to discussions of American culture. Beyond literature, Twain's persona as a storyteller, humorist, and public speaker helped shape modern American identity and popular culture.